16 by 9, the bigger picture.
LASIK eye surgery is marketed as a safe way to get rid of your glasses, but a high-profile whistleblower says we're not getting the whole picture.
The question is, how many eyes are you willing to ruin to make a living?
For me, it has been a misery.
We hear a lot about finding a cure, but what about the causes of cancer? Meet a scientist who says the answers are all around us.
There is no requirement that chemicals be tested before they're allowed to be sold.
That's all coming up on 16 by 9. Here's Mary Garofalo.
Good evening and welcome to 16 by 9, the bigger picture. Perfect vision and a life without glasses. It's an almost irresistible promise, and it's had patients lining up for LASIK eye surgery for almost 20 years now. But is it as safe as they say? Tonight, our Sean O'Shea introduces you to a man who approved LASIK surgery in the U.S. and now says he wants it stopped.
Tell me the worst case scenario. Tell me what can go wrong.
We have never had any major complications.
It's marketed as 10 minutes that will change your life.
There's not really any chance of long-term things.
No, because that's why we do all these tests.
A quick laser blast to the eyes, and you can throw away your glasses.
Your eyes are dry. That would never be permanent.
No, it's not permanent.
But is LASIK eye surgery really the low-risk vision miracle some clinics are claiming? Not for this woman, it wasn't.
My name is Sherilyn Gilomino. I live in Winnipeg, Manitoba. I had LASIK. For me, it has been a misery.
We'll get back to Sherilyn in a moment, but first, a bit about LASIK eye surgery, one of the most popular elective procedures on the planet. A quick cut on the outer surface of the eye with a tiny precision blade or a laser, another laser to reshape the cornea, and minutes later, 20/20 vision.
Great. We're all done. Just counting a few seconds.
Dr. Guillermo Roca represents the Canadian Ophthalmological Society and its 800 members. He's been doing LASIK for more than a decade and claims it almost never goes wrong.
It has been incredible in terms of the amount of precision, the safety, the efficacy that we have seen over the past 15, 16 years.
But listen to what a high-ranking American whistleblower says.
Is this a procedure that you would recommend to other people?
Absolutely not.
The man making that shocking statement was actually responsible for approving LASIK in the United States 15 years ago. Now he says they got it wrong.
I'm Morris Waxler. I worked at the Food and Drug Administration for 26 years, and I'm here because I'm concerned about the dangers of LASIK surgery. Well, we said that the adverse event rate should be no greater than 1%.
What percentage rate do you think had a problem with LASIK?
20 to 30%.
20 to 30%. That's at least 20 times higher than the 1% the industry claimed to get it approved.
Might there have been an incentive to conceal the truth or maybe even to lie in order to get this approved?
Absolutely.
Do you think that happened?
Yes, it did.
Waxler's suspicions started when angry patients started calling with LASIK horror stories.
I went back and looked at all of the pre-market approval that's on the FDA's website. I said, how could we have been misled? How could we have made a big mistake like this?
Waxler went straight to his former colleagues at the FDA with his findings.
And they were just unresponsive.
Unresponsive.
Unresponsive to me. I did this in a number of calls and a number of letters, but they were unresponsive about these matters.
So this January, Waxler took an extraordinary step. He filed this petition to ban the procedure he helped approve. He's even calling for a criminal investigation.
The question is, how many eyes are you willing to ruin to make a living?
Well, it's destroyed my quality of life that I used to have. Everything that was easy before is now difficult.
Sherilyn Gilomino is talking about her life after the LASIK surgery she had 6 years ago.
You know, I had very dry eyes right from the beginning. The surgeon said that was normal. So if he said that was normal, then hopefully it was temporary and I'd be fine in a week or a month, like he said.
But she wasn't fine. It just kept getting worse.
When they were at their very worst, about 2.5 years or so out, my eyes were burning every waking minute of every day. I spent most of that summer unable to even read a children's book to my kids because they were just so painful.
Sherilyn has had to change everything just to make life bearable.
Well, when I wake up in the morning, I don't open my eyes right away because they're stuck shut.
She constantly moistens her eyes with drops.
I just had to stick drops in again. Story of my life.
She administers steam treatments twice a day. When she uses the computer, a timer goes off every 15 seconds, reminding her to blink. Ironically, Sherilyn is back to wearing glasses, not to correct her vision, but to protect her dry, aching eyes.
These ones are for outside. They block the wind. So I wear these when I'm at home, just because then I'm much more comfortable, but they look hideous, so I don't usually wear them out in public, ever. These are the ones that are the most normal looking.
Walking down the street, you have to wear the goggles?
Yeah, absolutely.
If you don't wear the goggles, what happens?
Oh, my eyes, I'd start to get those sharp stabbing pains when I blink, so it's just not worth it.
Sharp stabbing pains?
Yeah.
Waxler says the industry just isn't willing to admit the real risks of cutting the cornea.
You're not cutting a piece of plastic. You're cutting a live tissue. So no matter how you cut it, you're cutting it. And the regrowth of those nerves are unpredictable.
This man disagrees. His name is Jay Herman, and he's the president of SigmaCon, a company that sells the latest generation lasers used in Canada.
With the modern technology, it's really about the pre-op. In normal, healthy eyes, there is very little that can go wrong related to the procedure itself.
Herman says Waxler's science is flawed, and that 20% complication rate is based on studies done with obsolete lasers.
It's not valid because that's a first, second generation laser. It's not manufactured anymore. It's not in use certainly anywhere in Canada, and it's not even the worst case scenario. It's a scenario that hasn't existed in a decade.
But Waxler insists his 20% number is based on all lasers, new and old.
I used every table I could lay my eyes on for all of the lasers that are approved, the most recent ones and the ones that were early approved.
Waxler says the industry got the adverse event rate down to 1% by calling certain problems complications instead of adverse events.